Alright, so we're taking a look at Trenched from Double Fine. They've made games like Brutal Legend and Psychonauts, but interestingly, they decided after Brutal Legend to split up their team into 4 smaller teams and just work on these downloadable titles. So they've done Costume Quest, Stacked, and now Trenched. The best way to describe Trenched, I guess, is it's a cross between Mech Warrior and a tower defense game with a little bit of like Diablo-style loot pouring sort of thrown in to the mix, and it's pretty fun to play. I've already beaten the game, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back and play one of the earlier missions, so as not to spoil what happens beforehand. So in terms of the replay value, right, you have like a medal you can get in your mission. So for example, I'm picking this mission where I got a silver medal, but I didn't get the gold medal. Now the other really cool thing is the way you can customize your mech, or they call them mobile trenches in this game. So you can choose a different chassis, and that determines how many weapons you can equip, as well as what type of tower emplacements you can place during the game. So right now I have a super offensive one, so I can have some of the best guns on my mech, but I can't really place very much. I only have 2 emplacement slots. One of them is a light weapon, and one is a additional sort of utility turret. Now if I were to pick, like, say, the Selker Mark IV, this is an engineering chassis, and you can have 2 heavy weaponry turrets as well. So in single player, I think probably going middle of the line is the best of the way, but in multiplayer you definitely want to specialize. If you're playing 2 players, it worked really well for me and my friend when we did. One guy was assault chassis, the other guy was a engineering chassis, and you can like set your paint job, change your legs, which does a few different things, and of course you can change all your weapons, right? So right now on one of my sides I have 3 machine guns equipped, and on the other side I have 1 really big rocket launcher, artillery type thing equipped. So you can set your emplacements, etc., etc. The other kind of cute thing is, just like in Team Fortress, you have like a different hat you can equip or whatever, and when you change your hat, it will change what sort of salute you do, which I'll show you in a second. There's 4 different characters. You change your clothes, stuff like that. So yeah, a different hat. You can hold down right trigger when you're on the ship to salute. And the matchmaking is all like well integrated. You just go over to the radio room, you can invite your friends, etc. Now this game is Xbox Live only because it was published by Microsoft, so yeah, you won't be able to play this on PSN or PC. So I'm going to start the mission. Let's see if I can get a gold medal here. Hopefully I don't mess up. This is like, I think, the 2nd or 3rd actual mission, so should be able to get a gold medal. I think I haven't played these levels solo, honestly. We played through the whole campaign co-op 2-player. So you have up to 4 players though if you want to play. And so I'm not quite sure how it's going to work 1 person. When you're playing multiple players, because there's multiple kind of portals that the enemies can come, you kind of end up splitting up a little bit, sort of like you would do in Dota or something like that, where you take a different line or whatever. But and also the difficulty of the monsters and the missions scale based on how many players you have, so it's still pretty challenging. You definitely have to work together. Okay, so we got some aerials. Yeah, I probably should have listened to the initial tips, which tell you that you should get aerial weaponry for this mission. But, oh well. I don't have my aerial turrets, but I do have a massive machine gun, which should be good enough. Oh, so you have to suck in scraps in order to buy future emplacements.
Okay, this looks like the time to set up our defenses.
Yeah, the one thing you'll notice is the assault mechs are definitely slower than the other mechs. They're like my guy's like barely moving around. But it's actually surprising how well the controllers feel tuned. Compared to a lot of these Xbox Live Arcade games where the controls are kind of an afterthought, this actually works pretty well. So
look at that flak machine gun tearing up those aerials.
Looks like there are more coming.
Luckily, I have these regular machine gun turrets
Need a
that
machine gun down here, sir.
can be used on aerial targets too. So all is not lost, right?
I've spotted the enemy.
Blitzer's charging you.
I hope I
Quick,
can
take
get
him
a
out.
gold medal though. Basically, way out leveled this mission.
Request 1 machine gun emplacement, sir. Here they come.
Nice work, Marine.
So the legs also give you like a special ability. So my guy has a thing where if I press the A button, I would go like into a lockdown mode where I reload a lot faster, but I can't move. Other things you can get like sprint and stuff like that. Sadly, there's no jump. That would have been sort of nice.
Getting attacked from the air.
Ate some
Okay.
damage there, but
This looks like the time to set up our defenses.
it's kind of hard to run away from those exploding dudes when you can't move at all.
Feel that? A high-pressure system of destruction.
So just like in a tower defense game, you can go over and upgrade your turrets. It actually significantly increases their damage, and the game tips actually tell you that it's often better to upgrade existing turrets rather than add new ones. Of course, in some of the later levels, you kind of get
Die, two.
overwhelmed by the number of angles that things are coming, and in those cases, you really are going to have to like
This is not good.
make sure you have it all set up
They're gone.
well, because there's like 5 or 6 places that they can come from, so you're getting a turret several spots. Now, not all of the missions are sort of these defense style missions, although most of them are. Pretty much at the end of each chapter there's like a boss fight mission where it's all offensive. So if you've been playing as like the engineer for most of the missions in your co-op game, it's kind of a good way to get to see what it's sort of like to be the aggressive sort of person. It definitely seems like getting the experience is a bit easier, or in terms of getting the number of kill count and stuff, because for all your scraps you pick up and your experience, etc., and even the loot you get is shared, so that's kind of cool. There's no like competition over that, but there are statistics you can get, like number of kills, with such and such a weapon. And just like in a Call of Duty type game, when you level those up, you get additional bonuses. Typically, some of them are like actual weapons you're going to be able to use in your mission. Others are going to be just some sort of random things like hats and stuff, which don't necessarily add value, but
All right. That's the last
it's
of
kind of fun. And there's some like things you can collect. One of the cool things is you can go on the leaderboard and you can like see, okay, what does the top guy on the leaderboard have equipped? And I saw one thing on like the second guy on the leaderboard or something where it was like bling armor, and he had, it's like covered in gold and platinum, sort of thing. And all the items have text descriptions, and some of them are pretty funny too. Like kind of, it's not like laugh out loud, this is hilarious type funny, but it's kind of like in the sort of Double Fine's like smirking humor sort of way. And the whole setting is like some weird World War II cyberpunk type deal going on or something. It's kind of hard to really pinpoint what era it's supposed to be in.
Right over there.
Alright, so we got aerials.
Black machine gun tearing
So
up
luckily,
those
because my guy is so buffed out, I have these machine guns that they're like I think a rare quality or unique quality, or there's no quality levels,
Okay.
but just like in WoW, you
Looks
know,
like
there's
the time to
item
set up our
colors, right? So
defenses.
there's white, green, blue, purples, and so I think I have like these blue machine guns that also double as flak turrets. Because normally early on in the game you have to pick, do you want flak machine gun or regular machine gun? The flak ones do more damage to air dudes, but not as much to ground.
Ah!
Overpowered when that let you do it. Oh. And so you notice like when the waves spawn, there's little arrows that show what portals are active. But sometimes in the heat of the battle,
No need to do it
some
on
of the
your own.
spawns are
You can
delayed,
subscribe.
so you may not immediately notice that there's another spawn coming from somewhere else. Guess I might as well upgrade these turrets. Get all these.
You're dead.
So in some of the levels they have these like electromagnetic pulse things.
Not good.
Basically if you stand in them you take some damage. And it kinda hurts.
Aerial swarm. Huh, no problem. Perfect.
Machine guns are just destroying these dudes.
Looks like there are more coming.
Yeah, so normally, like I said, it'd be a bit harder, but I'm out leveled for this mission. One thing that's a little disappointing is it doesn't seem like there's like a additional level of difficulty. Because it'd be fun, you know, after you finish the campaign on regular difficulty, you know, have a bigger challenge. But for now, it seems like you basically have to either try to get your gold medals, like that gets some replay because there are like achievements, and you know you can try to get all the challenges completed. So there is definitely good replay, and I mean for a $15
One inbound.
title,
Look to the skies.
you get at least 6 hours from one playthrough. So I don't think there's too much to complain about. So I got a loot box. So in later missions you get several loot boxes, but typically it's the bigger guys that'll drop those loot boxes, and you don't find out what you got until the end.
Now that was
The
fun.
cool thing again, right, is the loot's all shared, so you don't have to like worry about who got what, etc. Just finish the mission. Alright, we did it. And let's see what loot we got. Alright, got a gold. Didn't have that before. Got some XP. Oh, and you do need like certain XP ranks to be able to get certain items. The money you use to buy stuff in the shop, etc. So I got makeshift more. Doesn't really do much. You got all this stuff already. Gotta play the harder missions to really get some awesome loot, right? And that's it for Trenched. So be sure to go to GameCanary.com to see the full review for the game, but we'll be back later.